the best conditions or we live in the worst? What are you saying, my bro?
This man here is a 666. He's the resemblance of a man that used to live in this very town. Is in that book, the book of Revelation. And you know that.
Okay, do you know what that is right there? That's one of the curses that are upon our people. Unfortunately, because of our rebelliousness as a nation of people, we go through many atrocities. Go to Deuteronomy 28. All right, listen up, my sisters. Yeah, don't let that discourage you, because the Bible already said it's going to happen. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
One of the curses, because we rebelled and we forgot to keep God's commandments, one of the curses were that we would be cursed with madness. That's why you see many of our people throughout this country, Nigeria, the Caribbean, all throughout Africa, they're struck with madness, smitten with madness. Read.
And blindness.
And blindness. You understand what it means to be blind? Not naturally physically blind, but they see that someone is oppressing us. They see we are being oppressed and held down and downtrodden by a nation. But guess what? We go to that same nation for salvation.
Teach. Read. And astonishment of heart.
And an astonishment of heart. No matter where we go, we are afraid of the police, even though they should be there to protect us. We're even afraid of our own people. In Nigeria, who are you more afraid of? The white man to oppress you, or your own people that look like you? Pardon? You're not afraid of no one? Yeah, good, I'm not afraid of nobody neither. But I know that when I go to the Caribbean, it's not the white man I'm looking over my shoulder after. It's people that look like me.
Right.
That should not be the case. In this country, it's the same. Who's the one that's troubling our communities? Right. It's the young black men that are troubling our communities.
That's right.
That is a curse because we failed to keep God's commandments. You understand? You understand, my brother? Same with you. What area do you live in? You live here, yeah? Luton. Okay, who's oppressing our people in Luton? Who's oppressing our community in Luton? It's our people. Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. Read it again. It said what?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not, 16. Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city.
So we would be cursed in the cities. And what?
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
We will be also cursed in the field. Back then we were cursed in the slave field. All right, when we were picking cotton, picking cocoa, picking sugarcane. We were cursed in the field. Now we're cursed in the work field. Why? Because we are what? The last hired, the first fired. We get the lower paying jobs, the menial jobs, the servitude jobs where other people are the managers. Other nations get risen up above us quickly. That is a curse. Read on.
Verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Our basket and our store. So when we try to gather goods in, when we try to work as a nation of people together and save, is it prosperous or does it fail? There's always another man that looks like you trying to get one up. The generals trying to get a quick up. A swindler. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
Am I right or am I wrong? The con artist that's cursed your basket. It's the person that looks like you, the brother that you should trust, because he's not keeping a simple commandment, thou shalt not steal. Read on.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land.
Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 42. Deuteronomy 28 verse 42. What we're doing is we're reading the curses that are affecting the Israelites today. Read.
Verse 42. All thy trees and fruit of thy land.
43.
43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Look in Nigeria. The same thing in the Caribbean. Who's the one that owns the major industries? Who's the one that owns the major industries? So for example, in Nigeria, you don't have cocoa, you don't have coffee, you don't have gold. Who's the one that owns the major manufacturers of those industries? Is it Nigerians? Who refines gold? Is it Nigerians that refine the gold? No. Who refines the coffee? We're the ones that pick the coffee beans and then it gets shipped. And it's Costa that's making the millions. When we're at the bottom of society. Read on.
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee.
So, wait. Verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses.
What's up, my brother? Don't get this. What's up, my brother? You good? I remember you from last time. We said. Yeah, I'm good. You got any questions?
Not now.
All right. Young G's, you good? Yeah. What are your names? Huh? Tanako. Cedric. All right, you heard this history before? Read verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
What we're reading is that certain things that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans went through in history are curses because we did not keep God's commandments. What country are you lot from? Zimbabwe. Oh, read it again.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day. That I command thee.
Right. So these curses will be upon us for a sign and for a wonder. We're going to look and understand and see, why did this happen to the so-called Zimbabweans? Why did this happen to the Nigerians? Why did this happen to the Caribbean? Read verse 41. This would also happen.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
It wasn't just our parents that it happened to, but guess what? It was the children as well. You understand? All of us were affected as a nation of people, from the old down to the young. Read verse 47.
Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
Because we didn't serve the Lord, the commandments that he gave us with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, being happy. Read.
For the abundance of all things, therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
So, it's prophesied that we would have to serve our enemies, people that do not like us, in hunger. Where do you get your food from? Pardon? Shops. Who owns those shops? Is it our people that own the shops, or is it another nation of people? Another nation of people. Read.
In hunger and in thirst.
In thirst. Who owns the major water companies? Is it our people? Water flows freely from the sky, but guess what? Your parents have to pay a water bill. Read.
In thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
So anything that we want, we're going to have to go to another nation of people. Read verse 49.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Sorry, read the end of that.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So you see this here? You see this yoke of iron? If you were to Google yokes of iron, you would see people that look like us. If you were to Google yokes of iron, you would see people that look like us, because this is our history. And this happened to us because we disobeyed God's commandments.
That's right.
Yeah? Because we disobeyed God's commandments. Yeah, finish the rest of it.
Until he have destroyed thee.
You got a question now? All right. Go on, ask the question.
You said that through generations, breaking God's laws, curse from even Adam and that, when Eve ate the fruit, sin and death come through, generational curse, the law was given Cain.
Yep.
So what is the cure from the curse?
What is the cure from the curse? What is the... Good question. Good question, because do you understand what the curses are, first of all? They're an affliction upon our people for our disobedience.
Right.
So your question is... Pardon?
An affliction on humanity.
It's an affliction upon these people right here. The 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
Okay?
But did it come into
Deuteronomy,
humanity?
Deuteronomy chapter 28. How do we stop these curses? 28 and verse 1. It's very simple. We are under curses because we disobeyed God's commandments. Yeah? We're under curses because we broke God's commandments. Simple commandments like honor your father and your mother. Your father tells you to do something, you don't do it, guess what? That's a sin. You've disobeyed God's commandments. For example, if your dad says, come home at 8 o'clock, you decide to stay out until 9 o'clock. If you get beaten up, if something bad happens to you, guess what? You disobeyed your father. You shouldn't have been out at that time. Because what? You were given a commandment by your parent, you disobeyed it, you got afflicted. So, the simple solution is, follow the instructions you've been given. Read what you got.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command.
So we should be observing to do all of God's commandments. Read.
Which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
symbol. We do God's commandments, we get set on high, above all nations of the earth.
Right.
Do you understand what it means to be above? It means to be royalty, to
That's
be
right.
ruling.
That's right.
That's the stock, the lineage that you come from.
Right.
Royalty.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children